People hurt you intentionally. Yes, intentionally. We like to give folks the benefit of the doubt. And we tell ourselves, maybe they didn't mean to. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding, or maybe I'm just being too sensitive. But you've got to come to terms with one undeniable fact. Sometimes people know exactly what they're doing. They know the pain they're causing, the hurt they're inflicting, and they do it anyway. And when someone shows you who they are like that, when someone puts their cruelty, their disregard, their selfishness on display, don't give them a second chance to do it again. Don't give them the opportunity to hurt you twice. Now, I know second chances sound nice, don't they? They're all about redemption, forgiveness, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not talking about the occasional mistake or misunderstanding here. I'm talking about when someone deliberately hurts you, when they go out of their way to tear you down, to betray your trust, to cause you harm. That's a different ball game. When someone crosses that line, you've got to recognize it for what it is, and you've got to be strong enough to walk away. Let me take a moment to get real with you. You see, the truth is that people will come at you in ways that can be downright disrespectful, hurtful, and yes, intentional. They'll throw shade your way, twist your words, and act like they didn't do anything wrong, all while you're left there picking up the pieces of your heart. It's easy to brush it off or try to make excuses for their behavior, but don't fall for that trap. That's exactly what they want you to do, believe that you're overreacting, that you're somehow to blame for their actions. They want to gaslight you into thinking that their hurtful words and actions are just a misunderstanding, that you're the one blowing things out of proportion. But let me tell you something, deep down, you know the truth. You felt the sting of their words. You felt the disrespect wash over you like cold water. And that feeling, that's your intuition trying to protect you, trying to remind you that you deserve better than this. When someone crosses the line, when they hurt you on purpose, it's not just a mistake. It's a choice they made. And when you let them back into your life after they've done you wrong, you're sending a dangerous message. You're saying it's okay to treat you poorly. You're telling them that their actions come without consequences, that you'll just keep letting them back in, no questions asked. You're handing over the reins of your self-worth and saying, you can hurt me as much as you want, I'll keep forgiving you. That's not just dangerous. That's detrimental to your spirit. Now, let me ask you something. How many times are you going to allow someone to hurt you before you decide enough is enough? How many times will you let them walk back into your life, pretending like nothing happened, before you realize that you're the one who deserves respect? It's about time you put your foot down and recognize your worth. You are not a punching bag. You are not a doormat. You are worthy of love, kindness, and respect. And it's time you start treating yourself that way. People who intentionally hurt you, who don't give a damn about your feelings, they feed off your reactions. They thrive on the drama they create in your life. They love it when you're upset because it gives them some twisted sense of power. They get a kick out of seeing you suffer, knowing they can manipulate you like a puppet. But the real power lies in your hands. The moment you stop giving them the audience they seek, the moment you stop reacting to their chaos, you take back control of your life. Let's not kid ourselves. Cutting toxic people out of your life isn't easy. It's hard work. You may find yourself questioning if you're doing the right thing, if you're being too harsh. You might even wonder if you're being a little too dramatic yourself. But I'm here to tell you that you need to trust your instincts. Your feelings are valid, and they are there for a reason. Your soul is trying to warn you that this person doesn't have your best interests at heart, and you need to listen to that warning. Think about it. Would you tolerate someone stepping on your shoes without an apology? No, you wouldn't. You'd either call them out or walk away. So why do you allow someone to trample on your feelings? You've got to protect your heart like you would protect a precious possession. You wouldn't leave your valuables lying around for anyone to grab, so why would you leave your emotional well-being in the hands of someone who has proven to be unreliable, untrustworthy, and hurtful? And let's get this straight. Forgiveness is powerful, but it doesn't mean you have to give someone a seat at your table again. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. It's about letting go of the weight that someone else's actions have placed on your shoulders. But that doesn't mean you have to allow them to continue hurting you. Forgiveness is not a pass to keep being hurt. It's a way to reclaim your peace and move forward with your life. Here's the truth: the more you allow these toxic individuals to linger in your life, the more they'll chip away at your way. They'll throw your emotions around like confetti, leaving you to clean up the mess every time they decide to come back into your life with some half-hearted apology and a promise to change. But you know what? They rarely change. They often come back with the same tricks and the same intentions. They think they can play you because they know how much you want to believe in the goodness of people. But sometimes that goodness just isn't there. You've got to draw the line and be firm in your boundaries. Make no mistake, setting boundaries isn't being rude, it's being respectful to yourself. When you establish boundaries, you're saying, I value myself too much to tolerate disrespect. It's about teaching people how to treat you, how to engage with you. And believe me, when you start standing firm in your boundaries, people will either step up or step out. The ones who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries. The ones who don't, they'll fade away. And that's a blessing in disguise. Think about how freeing that is. Imagine waking up each day knowing that you are surrounded by people who genuinely care about your well-being, who want to uplift you rather than tear you down. Imagine the peace that comes from not having to worry about who's going to hurt you next. You deserve to live that life. And the only way to get there is by learning to say no to the people who don't deserve a place in your life. When you refuse to give second chances to those who hurt you intentionally, you're reclaiming your power. You're standing tall and saying, I will not be a victim of your actions anymore. You're setting a standard. And you're letting the world know that you deserve better. And guess what? When you raise your standards, you attract better people into your life, people who respect you, who uplift you, who appreciate you for who you are. Now, don't think for a second that standing your ground means you'll never face challenges again. Life will still throw curveballs your way. There will still be difficult moments, but here's the beauty of it all. When you've built a strong foundation of self-respect, you'll handle those challenges with grace and strong. You'll know that you have the power to navigate through the storm, and you won't be swayed by anyone who tries to bring you down. In the end, it's all about recognizing your worth and taking action based on that realization. When you start valuing yourself, you create an energy that attracts positivity and growth. You become a magnet for the kind of relationships and experiences that enhance your life rather than diminish it. And that, my friends, is what life is all about. So let me leave you with this. Trust your feelings, trust your instincts. When someone disrespects you, don't hesitate to stand up for yourself. Don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that their hurtful behavior is your fault. Recognize that you deserve respect, love, and kindness, and when someone tries to take that away from you, don't hesitate to cut them out of your life. You are worthy of a life filled with joy, and you owe it to yourself to create that life by removing the negativity. Never forget that the choice is yours, and you have the power to choose the people you surround yourself with. So choose wisely, choose happiness, choose peace, and most importantly, choose yourself. Let's get one thing straight: forgiveness is crucial. It's essential for your own peace of mind and healing. But there's a huge difference between forgiveness and inviting someone back into your life who has already shown they can hurt you. People often get it twisted. They think that because they've forgiven someone, they owe it to that person to reinstate them into their lives, to give them another shot, to open that door again. But let me tell you something, forgiving someone is a gift you give to yourself. It's about releasing the anger, the bitterness, the weight that comes from holding on to past hurt. It's not about giving someone the keys to your emotional state or your heart. When you forgive, you're saying, I'm done letting this situation control me, I'm moving on. But that doesn't mean you have to allow the same person who hurt you back into your life. That's a common misconception that can lead to you being hurt all over again. Forgiveness doesn't mean they deserve a second chance to hurt you again. You can forgive someone and still choose to walk away, to create distance, to establish boundaries. You can forgive someone and still decide they no longer deserve a seat at your table. So let's talk about that for a minute. Why do people hurt others intentionally? There's no good reason for it, but there are plenty of motivations behind it. And understanding those motivations can help you make sense of their behaviors. Sometimes it's about power. It's about feeling superior, feeling in control. These individuals get some kind of sick satisfaction out of seeing you vulnerable, out of knowing they can cause you pain. It's a twisted form of validation for them. They want to see you hurt because it gives them a rush, a feeling of power that they can't get anywhere else. Now think about it. When you allow someone back into your life who has hurt you, you're giving them more power. You're essentially handing over the reins and saying, go ahead, do your worst. And let me ask you this, why would you ever want to give someone like that any more power than they've already taken? You've got to recognize that allowing someone who's hurt you back into your life is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness. It shows that you're willing to overlook the pain they've caused you for the sake of keeping the peace, or because you hope they've changed. But often they haven't. They're just waiting for the right moment to strike again. You deserve better than that. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, who respect you, who appreciate you. And when you keep allowing those who intentionally hurt you to return, you're settling for less. You're telling yourself that you're okay with being a punching bag for their insecurities, their anger, and their twisted motivations. You're saying it's acceptable for someone to come in and out of your life as they please, with no regard for your feelings. And that, my friend, is not okay. Now, let's be clear about what it means to forgive someone. It's a process, and it's not always easy. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't mean you're suddenly best friends with the person who hurt you. It means you're making a conscious decision to let go of the resentment and anger so you can heal and move forward. But that doesn't require you to forget what they've done, nor does it mean you have to open yourself up to being hurt again. Forgiveness is a personal journey, and you need to honor that journey by being cautious about who you allow back into your life. When you forgive, you're taking back your power. You're saying, I'm in control of my emotions, my feelings, my life. But when you keep giving chances to those who've shown they can hurt you, you're giving that power right back. You're saying, here, take it. I'm okay with you disrespecting me. That's not strength, that's vulnerability. It's about time we start valuing ourselves enough to recognize our worth and say no more. You've got to set standards for how you expect to be treated. You've got to establish boundaries that protect your peace. When someone crosses those boundaries, when they intentionally hurt you, you need to be willing to walk away and never look back. Trust me, you'll be better off without them. There are plenty of people out there who will respect you, who will value you, who will appreciate the person you are. And those are the people you want in your life, not the ones who cause you pain. Now, I get it. Letting go is hard. It's easier to hold on, to cling to the hope that maybe they'll change, that maybe things will be different this time. But that hope can be a dangerous thing. It can keep you stuck in a cycle of pain, disappointment, and hurt. You've got to learn to recognize when enough is enough. It's like staying in a bad relationship because you think things will improve. Spoiler alert, they rarely do. You need to be brave enough to step away from what doesn't serve you anymore. Remember this, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't let their apologies or sweet words pull you back into their web. Trust your instincts. If you know someone has hurt you intentionally and you've forgiven them, but they still want to re-enter your life, don't let them. You don't have to be mean, you just have to be firm. You can say, I forgive you, but I won't allow you to hurt me again. That's a powerful statement, one that shows you're taking control of your life. When you put your foot down, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're showing them that you value yourself and your happiness. And when you start valuing yourself, the world will respond in kind. You'll attract people who appreciate you for who you are, who uplift you, who want to see you succeed. You'll start building a circle of support that empowers you rather than tears you down. So let's recap. Forgiveness is essential, but it's not an invitation for someone to come back into your life and hurt you again. You can forgive and still walk away. Recognize the motivations behind intentional hurt, whether it's power, insecurity, or control. Remember that you deserve better. Set your boundaries, honor your feelings, and never forget that your well-being comes first. You have the power to choose who you allow into your life. And that's a gift. Don't squander it on those who don't deserve it. Choose wisely. Choose to surround yourself with those who bring light into your life, who respect your boundaries, and who honor your journey. When you start living like that, you'll find a sense of peace and fulfillment you've never known. It's time to take charge, to own your story, and to stop allowing others to dictate your happiness. You deserve a life filled with love, joy, and respect. So go out there and claim it. You see, sometimes people hurt you because of jealousy, insecurity, or resentment. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. They see something in you that they wish they had, whether that's your kindness, your success, your light, or your potential. Instead of being inspired by what they see, instead of celebrating your victories, they lash out. They sabotage. They hurt you because they can't stand to see you shining brightly. And when you give them a second chance, when you let them back into your life, you're just giving them more opportunities to dim that light of yours. You're creating space for them to hold you back, to drain your energy, to chip away at your self-worth. Now think about it for a moment. Why would you want to keep someone around who's not rooting for you? Why would you give someone access to your life who seems to thrive on your pain? That's a dangerous game to play. Let me tell you, allowing such people back into your world is like giving them a loaded weapon and saying, "Here, take a shot." They've already shown you their true colors, and yet you think that a second chance will somehow magically change them. No, my friend, that's a gamble you can't afford to take. Now, let's talk about those who hurt you out of sheer selfishness. These are individuals who don't care about how their actions affect you. They don't care about your feelings, your well-being, or your happiness. They only care about what they can extract from you. They're like energy vampires, and you can spot them a mile away. They see you as a means to an end, a tool to help them get what they want. And when you give them a second chance, you're letting them know that their selfishness is okay. You're signaling to them that they can keep taking from you without ever giving anything in return. You've got to ask yourself, why would you ever let someone like that back into your life? Why would you allow someone who has repeatedly shown they don't value, who doesn't respect you, and who clearly doesn't care about your well-being to come back and hurt you again? You have to be real with yourself about these questions. You have to confront those uncomfortable truths. Because the moment you start allowing these toxic individuals back into your circle, you're not just putting yourself at risk for more pain, you're also sending a message to yourself that you don't deserve better. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might say, but Denzel, what if they've changed? What if they've learned from their mistakes? Listen, I get that. We all want to believe in redemption. We want to hold on to the hope that people can grow and evolve. But the reality is change takes time, effort, and a commitment that goes beyond just saying, "I'm sorry." You have to pay attention to the actions, not just the words. Words are cheap, actions speak volumes. And if their actions continue to show selfishness, disrespect, or an unwillingness to consider your feelings, then that's you right there, yeah. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who celebrate your successes, who stand by you in tough times. You deserve to have individuals in your life who are genuinely happy for you, who want to see you thrive. That's what true friendship and love look like. When you allow those who hurt you back into your life, you're basically saying that their actions are acceptable, and you're reinforcing that it's okay for them to treat you poorly. That's not just unhealthy, it's downright dangerous for your mental and emotional well-being. Now, I understand that letting go is tough. It's hard to cut ties with someone you once cared about or someone you hoped would change. We've all been there, and we've all held on too long thinking that maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. But let me remind you, holding on can sometimes be more painful than letting go. You've got to weigh your happiness against their past behavior. Think about how many times you've been hurt, how many times you've given them another chance, and ask yourself, was it worth it? Real growth often requires a willingness to shed the people who no longer serve you. You've got to be willing to walk away from relationships that drain you, from friendships that leave you feeling empty or hurt. It takes courage to let go, but it takes even more courage to keep someone around who continually disrespects you. You have to ask yourself, at what point does your self-respect outweigh your desire to keep the peace or to give them another chance? And let me tell you something, boundaries are not a bad thing. Setting boundaries is a form of self-love. It's a way of saying, I respect myself enough not to tolerate disrespect. You have every right to protect your energy and your heart. Establishing boundaries means you're not just putting up walls, you're building a sanctuary for your spirit, a place where you can thrive without fear of being hurt again. You need to recognize that forgiving someone doesn't mean you have to let them back into your life. You can forgive and still keep your distance. You can forgive and still choose to walk away. That's the beauty of forgiveness. It's for you, not them. You're freeing yourself from the shackles of resentment and anger. But you don't have to allow them the privilege of your presence if they haven't earned it. That's where the power lies. And that's the choice you have to make for yourself. At the end of the day, your happiness is paramount. It's the most important thing. You have the right to prioritize your mental and emotional health above all else. You deserve a life filled with joy, respect, and love. And if someone is taken away from that, it's time to reevaluate that relationship. It's time to ask yourself if they truly belong in your life. Look, life is too short to spend it being hurt, to keep giving second chances to those who consistently let you down. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are, who want to see you win. It's time to lift yourself up and build a circle that strengthens you, not one that tears you down. You have the power to choose who gets a seat at your table. So choose wisely, my friend. Choose those who will champion you, who will support you, and who will stand by you. Remember, when you know your worth, you don't settle for less. When you understand the value you bring to the world, you don't allow people to take advantage of you. And if someone shows you who they are, believe them. You don't need to keep giving them chances to prove you wrong. Trust your gut and trust the lessons you've learned from the past. Letting go isn't easy, but sometimes it's the most liberating thing you can do. It opens you up to new possibilities, to healthier relationships, to a life where you can truly thrive. So take a step back, assess the relationships in your life, and ask yourself who deserves to be there. Don't be afraid to remove those who don't contribute positively to your journey. You owe it to yourself to create an environment that nurtures your soul, an environment where you can shine without fear of being dimmed. You deserve love, you deserve respect, and you deserve to be around people who lift you up. So go out there and make it happen. Don't settle for anything less than what you're worth. You have the power to choose your circle, and that circle should reflect the greatness within you. It's time to live in your truth, embrace your worth, and let go of those who don't appreciate it. The journey ahead is bright, but only if you choose to walk it without the weight of negativity holding you back. Claim your happiness, claim your life, and watch as the right people gravitate toward the light you're ready to shine. Now, I get it, walking away isn't easy. It's tough to cut ties, especially when it's someone you care about, someone you've invested time and energy in. You've shared laughs, dreams, and maybe even some tears. So how do you just turn your back on all that? It's hard to let go, to say you don't deserve a place in my life anymore. But let me tell you something, your peace is worth more than the pain they're causing you. Your self-respect is worth more than the chaos they bring into your life. Your happiness is worth more than their empty apologies and broken promises. Life is too short to be weighed down by people who don't appreciate you. It's too precious to waste on individuals who don't recognize your worth. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait for them to hurt you again to prove that they haven't changed. That's a lesson you need to learn and hold close to your heart. You've got to protect your energy. You've got to protect your heart. And that means making the tough decision to walk away, even when it's painful, even when it feels like you're losing something. But here's the thing, you're not losing anything. You're gaining your peace, you're gaining your freedom, you're gaining the space to invite better, more loving, more respectful people into your life. You're creating room for the kind of relationships you deserve, the kind of relationships where you're valued, where you're respected, where you're loved for who you are, not what you can give. And trust me, that is the ultimate victory. You see, walking away is not about throwing shade or plotting revenge. It's not about punishing the person who hurt you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about taking back control of your life, your heart, your energy. It's about saying, I deserve better, and I won't settle for anything less. And that's a powerful statement. When you declare your worth, you send a message to the universe that you're ready for better things to come your way. You're ready to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who cherish you, and who bring positivity into your life. Now, I know there's a voice in your head that tells you to give them another chance. That voice might say things like, but they've changed, or they really didn't mean it. Listen, I get it. We all want to believe in the possibility of redemption, the hope that people can evolve. But the reality is, change takes time and effort. It's not something that happens overnight or simply because someone asks for forgiveness. You have to look at their actions, not just their words. Words can be hollow, they can be a facade, but actions tell you everything you need to know. When you keep someone around who continually disrespects you, you're sending the message that their behavior is acceptable. You're saying, it's okay for you to treat me poorly, I'll keep coming back for more. That's not the message you want to be broadcasting. You want to cultivate an atmosphere where respect is the norm, where kindness is a given, where love is unconditional. And that starts with you. It starts with you setting the standard for how you want to be treated. You've got to raise that bar, my friend, and make it clear that you won't settle for anything less than you deserve. There's immense strength in walking away. You might not see it right away, but believe me, it's there. When you take that step back, you create space for self-reflection. You begin to understand what you want and what you don't want in your life. You begin to realize that your happiness is a priority and that it should never be contingent upon someone else's behavior. You're not responsible for their choices or their actions. You're only responsible for how you respond to them. And choosing to walk away is a powerful, empowering response. You've got to know your worth. You've got to understand that you are worthy of love, respect, kindness, and compassion. And if someone can't give you that, if someone intentionally hurts you, disrespects you, tears you down, then they don't deserve a place in your life. Period. End of story. Look, I'm not saying that walking away won't hurt. I'm not saying it won't come with its own set of challenges. There will be days when you'll miss the memories, the shared moments, the laughter. You'll have those moments when you think, what if? But here's the truth, those moments will pass. You'll emerge stronger on the other side. You'll start to see that the weight that once felt so heavy is now lifting. And in its place, you'll find clarity. You'll find strength. You'll find the freedom to be a true self without the shackles of someone who didn't appreciate you. So take the time to heal. Allow yourself to feel the pain, to acknowledge the loss. But don't let it define you. Don't let it be a beast to hold on to the past. Your future is waiting for you, filled with new opportunities, new friendships, and new possibilities. You have the power to shape that future. You have the power to invite in people who lift you up, who honor your presence, and who appreciate you for all that you are. And let me tell you, the moment you start to make room for that kind of energy, your life will begin to change. You'll find that you're happier, more at peace, and more fulfilled. You'll start attracting people who reflect your worth back to you. You'll start to create a circle that aligns with your values, your aspirations, and your dreams. That's the beauty of walking away. It's not just about cutting off the negative, it's about making space for the positive. So don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to let go. It takes guts, but the rewards are immense. You deserve a life filled with joy, respect, and love. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see your value, who want to lift you up, and who will stand by you in the tough times. You have every right to expect that, and you have every right to walk away from anyone who doesn't understand that. And when you do take that brave step, remind yourself that you are not alone. There are so many others who have walked this path, who have faced the same struggles, and who have come out stronger on the other side. You are part of a community of survivors, of thrivers. You're not just walking away from someone who hurt you. You're stepping into a brighter, more empowering chapter of your life. Your journey is unique, and it's yours to navigate. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, and when in doubt, remember that your peace is worth fighting for. It's worth the struggle, the pain, and the tears. You're going to be okay. You're going to come out of this stronger than ever, with a renewed sense of self and a clear understanding of your worth. So step boldly into your future. Embrace the unknown with open arms. Be unapologetic in your pursuit of happiness. You deserve it, and you have the strength to claim it. Your life is waiting, and it's time for you to shine like the star you were always meant to be. Don't let anyone dim that light. You are worth it, and you owe it to yourself to live a life filled with love, respect, and authenticity. Stand tall, walk away from what no longer serves you, and step into the greatness that is your birthright. And listen, don't let guilt stop you from walking away. Don't let that voice in your head tell you that you owe someone more time, more chances, more pieces of yourself. Don't let the fear of being alone keep you tied to someone who's doing more damage to you than good. People will manipulate that feeling, They'll play on your kindness. They'll exploit your fear of loneliness. And they'll make you believe that sticking around is the right thing to do. But here's the hard truth. It's better to be alone and at peace than to be surrounded by people who are tearing you apart. I've seen too many people stay in situations that were breaking them, all because they were afraid of what life might look like on their own. Afraid of the silence, afraid of the empty space that someone used to fill. But that silence, that space, that's where your peace lives. That's where your healing starts. You don't need to keep giving parts of yourself to people who aren't giving anything back. You don't need to keep sacrificing your joy, your happiness, just to keep someone else comfortable. That's not what love is. That's not what friendship is. Real love, real friendship, it builds you up. It doesn't tear you down. And trust me when I say this, when you let go of the people who are hurting you, when you stop giving second chances to those who don't deserve them, you make space for the right people to come into your life. You make space for the kind of love, the kind of friendships, the kind of relationships that build you up, that support you, that nurture your soul. I'm telling you, there's nothing more powerful than knowing your worth and standing firm in it. You have to believe that you deserve better, because you do. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, well, maybe they'll change. Maybe this time it'll be different. But here's the thing, people show you who they are over and over again. The signs are always there. It's not your job to fix anyone. It's not your responsibility to make someone realize your worth. If they can't see it, if they keep taking you for granted, then they don't deserve a place in your life. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to walk away from someone you've invested time and energy into, someone you care about. But you know what's harder? Staying in a situation that's slowly breaking you down piece by piece, day by day. So don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to protect your peace, to guard your heart, to value your happiness. You don't owe anyone a second chance. Let me say that again. You don't owe anyone the opportunity to hurt you again. You owe it to yourself to prioritize your well-being, to choose relationships that uplift you, to surround yourself with people who have your best interests at heart. That's the kind of love, the kind of friendship you should be chasing. Not the kind that leaves you questioning your worth, not the kind that leaves you feeling empty and drained. Life is too short to keep giving chances to people who don't appreciate you. It's too short to keep allowing toxic people to drain your energy. to steal your joy, to sabotage your peace. You deserve better than that. And the moment you start believing that, the moment you start choosing yourself, is the moment your life will change for the better. You'll start to see things differently. You'll start to realize that being alone isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Because in that space, in that quiet, you'll find yourself again. You'll rediscover who you are, what you want, what you deserve. And when you get to that place, when you're standing strong in your worth, you'll attract the kind of people who see you for who you are, who respect you, who value. You won't have to beg for love, for attention, for kindness. It'll come naturally. Because the people who are meant to be in your life will meet you be you are. They won't take from you without giving back. They won't hurt you just to satisfy their own needs. They'll be there for you. They'll support you. They'll want to see you win. I want you to understand something. You have the power to create the life you want. You have the power to choose who gets access to your heart, to your energy, to your time. Don't give that power away. Don't let someone else dictate how you feel, how you live, how you love. You are in control. And part of that control is knowing when to walk away, when to say enough is enough. You don't have to wait for someone to change. You don't have to wait for someone to start treating you the way you deserve to be treated to her. You can make that decision right now, today, to walk away from anything or anyone that's not serving your highest good. It's not easy. I know that. But nothing worth having ever is. You've got to be willing to fight for your peace, to fight for your happiness. And sometimes that fight means walking away. Sometimes it means letting go of people that will be in your life forever. But let me tell you, the people who are meant to stay, you won't have to beg them. You won't have to chase them. They'll be there because they value you, because they see your worth. And don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. People will try to guilt trip you. They'll try to make you feel like you're being selfish, like you're wrong for setting boundaries. But listen to me, protecting your peace, valuing your happiness, that's not selfish. That's self-love. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give to others if you're constantly running on empty. So take care of yourself first. Make sure you're good before you worry about anyone else. I've seen people stay in relationships and friendships and situations that were toxic, all because they didn't want to hurt someone else's feelings, all because they didn't want to be the bad guy. But here's what I've learned: you've got to be willing to disappoint people sometimes in order to protect yourself. You've got to be okay with someone not liking your decision if it means you're doing what's best for you. You can't live your life trying to please everyone, trying to make everyone else happy at the expense of your own well-being. The people who truly care about you, the people who have your best interests at heart, they'll understand. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll honor your need for space, for peace, for happiness. And the people who don't, well, that just shows you who they really are. It shows you that they were never in your life for the right reasons to begin with. So don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, to prioritize your peace, your happiness, your well-being. You deserve that. You owe that to yourself. Life is too short to spend it surrounded by people who don't value you, who don't appreciate you, who don't respect you. Choose yourself, choose your peace, and watch how your life begins to change. Watch how the right people start to show up, how the right opportunities start to come your way. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Every step you take toward protecting your peace, every decision you make to guard your heart, it's all leading you to a better, brighter, more fulfilling life. So don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to walk away from anything that's not serving your highest good. You deserve better. And it's time you start believing that.